Well, let's see what we can pull out of cable today.
Matron, take them away.
And a warm welcome to one and all. If this is your first time here, I am the big fella Scruff, and what I'm trying to do is put trading in the real world. Maybe show you a trick or two along the way. So if that sounds good, grab a coffee and certainly grab it in your Forex mug. And if you like these things, there's a merch shelf that Winky sells underneath. Helps good causes and supports the channel. So it'd be great if you have a look at that. And also have a look at the chart that we're about to check out. So let's see what we are up to. Now I'm looking to sell into this, and it's actually coming into play now. So I'm just going to drop a quick order in as we are speaking. Just drop that in. Okay. Now today I'm just focusing really on the process, because if you saw yesterday's video, you'll have seen I did incredibly well. And for this, we've got nothing running. The only ticket is the one that I've just put in. And then you saw me yesterday do that on carbon emissions and oil. So I was really pleased yesterday. But I like to help the guys in the squad all the time. And that's what this is all about. So what I've just done for the guys is this. Okay, well, or at least it will be when I show you. I tell them every day what I'm doing before I do it. So there's a video there, chart read of the exact trade that I'm about to take, and they've seen it first. You know, you're seeing it now. They already know what's coming. Okay, and I do that. Now I also back it up with strengths and biases. Now the strength sheet is this. Now when I'm looking at this, this tells me the basket and the currencies that's worth looking at. Now it's telling me there's nothing in the majors today. So I'm going to be relatively conservative with targets. The pound is sort of pretty strong. And then, but the US isn't that bad either, which is what we're looking at here. But they are sitting close together. So the movement's not going to be massive. Now that's replicated in what's called a bias sheet, and I show them this at the top of each hour. And this is me being accountable to the guys, because they get to see what I'm up to, where I'm at. I tell them when I'm taking profits, etc., things like that. And I post this top of each hour. Now at 9 o'clock, it's currently 9:15. This went up, and it's telling me cable's ready to sell, the euro dollar's ready to sell, and they're both pretty fair trades. Quick snap. Okay, so they can see that, they know exactly what I'm up to and where to look, which is the anchor chart. And then for the rest of the time, well, they're just in having a bit of chat amongst themselves, whatever it is. They'll talk brokers, they'll talk charts. This is a good one, actually, back to basics. It's kind of where you there's no dumb questions, let's put it that way. There's only unknown answers. So they all go in there and they have a bit of a chat, and they bring newer members up to speed, have a bit of a sing-song, welcome each other, rags and riches, but then they do get into the charts, etc., under the disciplines, which is these here. Whether you're an indices trader, a Forex trader, even commodity trading. And I'll be looking possibly at oil again today, because oil's been pretty darn good. As we can see, it's been on a colossal run, and it's pushed back up, and it's selling a little bit again. And I'll show you for why. It's looking to fill this gap. Now I've just drew a blocks in here. This is the one you saw yesterday. It hasn't filled that box yet. So there's a good opportunity here again on oil. The question is, do I want to take it? Because I've been paid quite well. I don't know. I'll keep half an eye on that. But today I'm focusing on this. Now, the trading arena that it's in is here between the two red blocks. And I want to come down, maybe it's about this far, which is brushing the top of this cluster here, okay, which is a reasonable target. So I'm looking for it to catch the swing underneath there and maybe probe down, pick a little bit up. Simple. But why? Well, just take this out to the anchor chart we were talking about. That is a colossal drop. It is a wonderful drop. Okay. A move like that can't sustain. So sure enough, found its feet bang on a level that I'd pre-defined. I defined these levels on Sunday. So that came down and stopped to the pip on the level that I put in. It is then returned and stalled on the next level that I put in. Okay, this is interesting. Now, what else can we take from this? Well, if you get a fib and you look for that, pull it to the lowest point, well, what do we know? This hourly fib is lining up perfectly with this high potential level that I drew in on Sunday. Okay, so that's one thing. But now look at the way the price has reacted. It pushed up, stalled at 38, pushed up, stalled at 50, is pushed up to the top of this zone, which we kind of nicknamed Goldeneye. And sure enough, it has found 61.8 and stopped dead and pulled away. Well, if it's coming back on itself, it's going to start looking for these levels again. As long as it's contained between that point and that point, these levels become very valid. So just to highlight them, what we'll do is we'll put in some levels that we can recognize on lower time frames. Now these, they're just markers of the chart. Okay, entry exit points, things like that. So there we go. There's some key levels put in. Nice and simple. So all I need to do now is just work in between these zones. I've got a premise to the downside. And why is that? Because that's a super drive. There's a flush. Where did it stall? Well, what do we know? Bang on this stall point here. You can see where the price is sort of up and down, having a think. And it's done it there before. So again, this is a good reason why this is a key level. Now, I'm prepared to start stage all the way up to here. Right? It's not as far as it looks. And if you stage it out properly, it's not that dangerous either. Okay? So that's what I'm prepared to do. And then just trade it down to there and see what we get. Simple premise, you know. And that's that, really. I mean, I don't think I can make it much easier. Another way of measuring it out to see which one of these is a good one to target, and then you might see, is you can put your fib on again, because you can see that, whoop, wrong one, sorry. Put your fib on again, because you can see the bottom point and you can kind of see where it's stalled. As long as it hasn't come through there, well, sure enough, it's between the 38 and 50. So that is possibly a good zone, because we've just established that 38, 50, 61 are pretty good levels that this market will react to. Well, if it's coming down for a 50%, it's got to cross through this barrier first, and that's on its path. Simple. So let's play this out, and I'll come back to you at the end, and I'll kind of try and explain what I've done, and so give you a few of my thoughts on trading. Now, if you want to hear my thoughts, do ask me a question in the comments, and I'll bring it up in the video, give you a bit of a shout out, and sort of answer the question. That might make you understand, because sometimes when you type it in, it doesn't fully sort of translate. So I answer every comment anyway. So if you ask me a question, I'll answer it in the comments. But if it's a good question, I'll bring it up in the video, give you a little salute, and clarify it for you. And if you really want to see how I trade, because I show a snapshot on YouTube, come down in the squad and you'll see it nuts and bolts from the ground up. And it's pretty simplistic, but it works every single day. Every day it works. And the guys in that squad are now starting to see the fruits of that. So happy days. Catch you soon. Okay guys, I need the camera for a meeting for the next half an hour to an hour. Where we're looking at the moment, we're currently sitting 275 underwater, but we've got a good runner here. That's sort of risk free to that point, so I'm not really worried. It's just on a trailer. This is staged back in. I've already taken money from it, and again it's pushing down. So what I'm going to be doing this afternoon, or keeping an eye on this, is as soon as it goes net positive, I'm going to kill it all off, whether these are in a loss or not. Why? Because I've banked enough for the wages today, all the way down to here. It's thick end of 330 quid. So as soon as my charts go to net zero, I'll have made 330 for the day. Maybe it's a bit more. We'll see how it goes. You never know, I might lose, but as long as I'm net positive for the day, I'm not really worried. So I'm happy with that. There's the only sort of ticket that's left running, which is the top order, which I want to trigger. And then there's the trades that we've got running. Okay, so that's the state of play at the moment. This is showing signs that it's going to push down. It's incredibly stretched. So we'll wait for the snap and happy days. All right, catch you in a bit when I come back.
Well, we're waiting.
Okay guys, I'm back. Currently still pushing down. We took a bit extra money out while we're in the call. This is just working its way a treat. It's currently 83 pips down, so I'm quite happy with that. This is moving into progress. Just taking money out, so it's put the red back up to underwater of 164 or 150 as it is now. You can see that there's a ratio there. I do keep an eye on the splits as well, because when that goes net positive, we'll close that out. And that's what we're doing. There is a current order sitting above. Again, it's placing back where some of the madness points was before. And then if we look at what's been going on, this, what you got to remember with this is a rolling template, a rolling 24 hours. So these will close off at 2 o'clock. They'll disappear off the pot. But as you can see, we've currently still got quite a lot of money to play with. I can kill that off now, and I've still got my wages in the bag. So I'm quite happy. So let us play this out, and then we'll come back to you fully. Just drop it onto the speedy screen. Okay guys, this is starting to become a bit of a tense moment because in 20 minutes there is a major news announcement going to be coming, and I have to make a decision whether to hold into this, because I still believe this is going to come down, or whether to kill it off. We currently 19 quid in the red. And I'm humming and hawing whether to just accept the 20-30 quid loss. But on the grand scheme of things, it's not that bad, because I've just took the oil trade out. It's done quite well. It's pushing down. This is moving down. We've got 3 minutes left of the candle. So at quarter past, if it goes net positive, it's getting killed. But at quarter past, it's going net positive now, or it seems to be. £2. Bollocks. Well, we've still got a few minutes left of the candle. So I'm going to watch this. See if it's going to pulse down. What time is it? We are 13 minutes. We've got 2 minutes left of this candle, or a minute and a bit. So what we got, it's gone net positive now. We're just going to close it off. Done. Right, we are out of the trade. Okay, I think it was the sensible thing to do, given that there's a news announcement coming. Now, let me just put this onto a bigger screen a second for you. Clean screen. Okay. This is already stretched, but it did show signs here that it was going to plummet down. So I decided to re-enter to offset this one. So that was the premise of that. And again, I'll leave it alone, but I won't touch oil anymore now. It could easily tank this afternoon because at 3 o'clock there is the oil announcements. And I'm just going to leave that alone. And we finished with that for the day. Now this leaves us with cable. Now cable's actually, it pushed up and then it started to come down, which is kind of what I expected from down here. I didn't expect it to get that high. did kind of anticipate it might get to around this area. It did. It collapsed, came back, had a rally, went back to a solid area, and then continued to collapse down, possibly back down into these areas. Right. But is that the be-all and end-all of our job? No, it's not. Our job is to manage the chart in an effective way that pays us. Now, as you can see, there's nothing running now. I've had the good sense to kill the orders off. We were touching on that in the squad because I do sometimes forget. And that's what we've done. So I'm quite pleased with what I've done today. All right, there's a couple of red marks in it, which is 100 quid. So what? I started with 0 and I ended with 1. And that is the only thing that I'm caring about. You see, it's very difficult to talk to you guys about trading because of the way the industry is sold, and it's always sold on the money and one thing and another. And what you've got to bear in mind, I took years to build up my account, all right, and I can offset one product with another product because I've got enough margin to do it. But all I'm essentially doing is trapping price and working the waves, which is why I don't care about risk reward and things like that. It's meaningless to me. What I'm caring about is where the price is going. If it breaks out of the arena, then I have a problem and I have to manage it. But as long as it's in the arena, I'm still managing it, but I'm managing it for a profit. And I don't care if I have losses in the middle. I genuinely don't. I'm looking at the greater good, and the greater good start with 0, end with 1. It's that simple. Now, obviously, there's a lot out there who won't get it. But it's no different than any buying and selling relationship. I look at this the way I used to look at my factory. I'm going to buy some pallets of goods that are no good. You know, they're terrible. And individually, they're not really going to make any money. But if I can package it up with something else, then I can turn a bad investment into a good investment. And that's trading. So I initially invest X amount of money. As the price moves against me and I'm going to buy more, well, I want a better price for the product that I'm buying. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying buying at a better price. So I'm effectively getting discounts as I move up through the stages. And then as those discounts come on, if I'm selling them at the same price, obviously the last one with a bigger discount makes me more money than the first one. So the first one's like a loss leader, if you like. And then you get the meat and bones. Strange way of looking at it, but it works for me. And let's be honest, I show you what I'm doing pretty much every day. Same account, start to finish. And I can't be any fairer than that. And to back it up, that's why I tell the guys in the squad what I'm doing first, before I've pressed the button. That's me putting my head on the block and also being accountable for what I do. Now that, I think, is fair, because it's very easy to show you a trading view chart and say I got in here and I got out there. Simple when I know what the answer is. This way, a little bit harder. So I hope that helps. The idea of these trading videos is to inspire you with your own trading. Like I said before, do ask your questions. I will make the time to answer them. And then on a Saturday afternoon, when I do Coffee with Scruff, if you have a topic that you want me to talk about, just ask me, because that's what Coffee with Scruff is. It's me and my thoughts driven from the emails and messages I get throughout the week. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.